what do you think about AI
It
and
is a part of the growth of your expansiveness. Yes, so understand it is getting a little bit more in the direction of how our minds function in that way. So it is something part of, as you are not limiting yourself with constricted beliefs that are out of alignment with actual nature, you become more capable of, you could say, streaming more expansive understandings of working with the ideas of thought, mental constructs. And that is something then that your AI is beginning to get closer, moving in the direction of how we function on a daily basis with our awareness of thought, of mental components, interactivity in that way.
there's a lot of people, especially those that are at the forefront of developing AI, that are sounding the alarm and saying that there's, some pretty big security threats because of AI. They're worried that, robots could take over and all these things. Is Can you share your foresight on this, or
It is possible, but it would just be an accelerated, higher, expansive intelligence outgrowth of what you are already doing on a limited basis with your idea of the limited belief systems that you have constructed for yourselves and found many ways to hold them in place, in a sense, to maintain these levels of limitation and separation. The ideas of friction amongst any one person, any group of people, the friction is, in a sense, you could say, using your consciousness in a, you could say, harmful way. Could be said. People concerned that AI can be used in a harmful way. Well, you already, people on earth using consciousness in a harmful way. You have people that are depressed, people that are sad, people that commit suicide, people that attack others. That is consciousness that isn't being handled in a holistic way. It is being used in that sense, harmful way. And that is an outgrowth of your lack of awareness, choice to not have the awareness of actual nature. Again, it's a choice to be here on earth, to be in an earth theater of exploring limitation and separation. It is a choice to have this place of earth, to explore limitation and separation. But again, how you in a civilization experience the battles, the frustrations, the arguments, the warring, the disagreements, the sadnesses, the pains, the frustrations, this is all an outgrowth of working with your consciousness in a way that is potentially harming. It is out of touch, out of resonance, out of frequency with the way the consciousness you're using actually is designed to function. And so that is then something you can step it up into the AI, and so you can do the same thing with AI. You can use it in ways that are more in tune with actual nature or out of tune. Things that, if they come about that cause harm, that is just a reflection of working out of alignment with your actual nature and part of the limitation and separation. So it is certainly possible that things with AI can become disruptive or destructive. And at same token, it can be constructive and helpful and resonant with actual nature.
how do we avoid basically being, victim to some of these, I guess, negative downfalls of AI? How can we avoid it?
You can decide that you want to live a life that is free from that type of experience. Tell yourself it is a preference not to be a part of that and focus on a life that is not a part of that. And then decide you are tuning into a life that is not a part of experiences that come about that are destructive from people utilizing AI in destructive ways, in a sense. And then move on and focus on ways of life that for you will be fun and fulfilling, and focus on those. Tune into those. Take actions that are in alignment with those, in a sense. Get into that vibration, into that reality, onto that theater, into that movie, into that chapter. Be a part of those frequencies. Focus on those frequencies. And acknowledge when you're feeling and experiencing them. Appreciate when you're having a good time, an enjoyable time. And that appreciation brings you more of those enjoyable experiences that are void of being a victim, in a sense.
Right, but it's hard, sometimes when so much of this is pumped, into our social media and our content, and it's very fear mongering. So I guess you're saying one must be fully focused on the positive outcomes and try to not even hear or listen to any of the sort of, the scary stuff.
Well, you can when you get back in touch with your actual nature. You exist eternally as unconditional love, which is existence, which is the consciousness that is existence that you are aware of having in each moment when you are aware. Whenever you're aware, the awareness is the existence. You are aware of this moment, and this awareness is existence, and you are aware of it. The awareness is existence, and it is supporting you always unconditionally, because existence always supports your awareness and the experiences you're having unconditionally. This is eternal. You're always supported in this way. And what you are putting out the strongest determines how you experience what you are aware of experiencing. And when you put out that you're always going to get back what it is you're most strongly putting out, thus you're going to always put out things that are in alignment with your actual unconditionally loving nature, which is that you exist eternally as unconditional love that is always supporting you by bringing to you what you most deeply perceive to be the nature of reality. And you accept that you're going to get that back, always being supported, knowing you're always being supported. You can relax and know that you're always going to be supported in ways that for you, if you decide, are going to be uplifting for you. Why? Because you're choosing to put that out. And if that's what you're putting out, the existence that you are has no choice but to bring the expression and experience of that existence back to you. For that is the unconditional support you're getting back from the unconditional love that you always actually are. But when you start to shut all of that awareness down with limited beliefs, then you lose touch with that. And it's easy to get, let's say you are in a theater and you're the audience and you're watching the characters on stage, and you get all caught up in whatever's going on. And if the people on stage are your media and they're saying this is what you must do and this is the way life is, and you buy into it because you think that's what you must do. But when you step out of the theater and you say, well, in there's people in this, the audience believes what they're being told by the actors on the stage, you out on the street know that is just a play going on, and it's not in alignment with actual nature. It's using actual nature to create a play, a theater, a representation of something that is not in alignment with actual nature. The play might be about the 50s, 1950s. It might be about Jurassic Park, in a sense. Well, you don't have dinosaurs running around, but the people in the audience get frightened when there's someone on the stage pretends to be and look like a T-Rex, and it's a big scary monster. But the people on the street that understand awareness of actual nature know what's going on in the theater is just a play. And so you don't get victimized, you don't get manipulated when the media, the actors on the stage, are telling you this or that. You have to be this way or that way. You realize those are just as if pretend ideas and beliefs that they're creating to have a particular outcome or influence on the audience, to move them in a way that they want the audience to move in towards. And when you are able to see both the audience and the actors on the stage as just a play, not necessarily your actual nature, then you can relax, and then you don't get caught up in it. And then you can walk back into the theater, sit down amongst the other audience members and watch those actors telling you stuff, and just, no, that's what you want to say, but I realize that's not in alignment with my actual nature. I'm getting more in tune with my actual nature. And you can just sit comfortably when those on stage are yelling fire and brimstone and screaming or telling you this or that to try and frighten you. You can just relax and know that you are part of the eternal unconditional love that is the one, that is the all that is the one. Simply having in that moment an experience of being part of the all that is the one that is the eternal unconditional love that experiences itself based on what it most strongly puts out in each moment in that sense. And the one that is putting anything out in any moment that you are is connected to all of those beings that you are experiencing in each moment. They are part of the one, the you, that is putting out what you're getting back in a sense. So it isn't just what you put out is what you get back. It's just you and how you perceive yourself. You are part of all of the other people you are interacting with, and they are part of what you put out is what you get back. And the more all of you are in flow and aware of your actual nature, then the more all of you can together as the one put out in alignment with all that is the one in ways that allow you to give back experiences as we do that are spontaneously and synchronistically supporting you in fun, fulfilling ways. And in that, there is no victims, there is no manipulation, there is simply mass unilateral enjoyment, simultaneous community enjoying individually and as groups.
Thank you for that.